Okay, class, you have 20 minutes. Time starts now.
Alright, here we go. I'm gonna put my name at the top. Clancy. Love how it rhymes with fancy. Alright, what the? Is this another language? Does anyone else see this? Oh my god. I just didn't study enough. It's literally just in another language to me because I'm so unprepared. Alright, I guess it wouldn't hurt to take a little glance at Drew's test. He's really smart. No. I'll go to hell. We're just gonna have to wing it. Oh, what a nightmare. Good thing I'm actually so prepared to take this test today.
Hey guys, it's Clancy, and today I have a really exciting video for you guys because it's all about school! Just kidding, but no, it really is about school, but obviously, you know, it's about so much more than that. It's about acing that test, every test you take. And this video is going to be showing you my little study routine, my tips and tricks, and how personally I ace every test that I take because I'm perfect. I bless my God, under a 130, no, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm obviously kidding, of course, but I am a good student. I do well on tests, and I think that I have a really good little method system down pat, and I want to share it. Also, I'm sorry if I sound a little sick. It's because I am a little sick. Honestly, I feel disgusting, and this is so annoying though. Why am I sick already? Everyone is sick already, and it's fall just began. Shouldn't, like, is the world, like, trying to speed things up this year? Because that's not cool, because I don't want winter yet, okay? Like, don't you normally get sick? Like, oh, I'm just so mad. Like, why am I sick now? It's beautiful. Just gotta take it one day at a time, you know? So now when you're in class, do not worry about what your notes look like. Don't be concerned with, oh my gosh, I'm writing messy, I'm writing sloppy, this doesn't look nice. Who cares? All you have to care about, all that matters to you, is getting down as much information as possible. I don't care if you scribble it, you jot it, you doodle it, just get it down somewhere. It's no secret that people talk faster than they write. Okay, I'm gonna read as slow as I possibly can. Be sure to be copying everything down that I say. In June of 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated. It was a Serbian assassin in Sarajevo. July 1914, Austria requests and receives Germany's bank check, pledging unconditional support if Russia enters the war. Austria then issues ultimatum. So obviously, it's kind of a challenge to write down every single thing your teacher says. So you need to just write down as quickly and efficiently as possible. One of my biggest tips is arrows. I never write because, since, on. Just an arrow substitutes so many different words. And honestly, it's okay if your notes look like text messages because you're the one reading them. You're not turning them into anyone. You're the only one reading them, so it's okay if they look like little texts written out between friends. Who cares? My next tip is to have a highlighter on hand, just a boring yellow highlighter, and do not be afraid to use it, okay? Teachers essentially are gonna be telling you the test. I remember one of my teachers, like freshman year, was just like,
every single question that's on the test, I have said in class.
And I was like, wow, that really is so true. I mean, you say it in class, I just didn't remember it, which is why I got the grade I got. It really is true. Teachers aren't out to trick you. Okay, we all know that one teacher though who's like, whoa, like, calm down, I hate you, okay? We all know that, come on, let's be real here. But for the most part, teachers aren't out to trick you. They're teaching you things, and everything they teach is gonna be on the tests. So really what they say is so important, more important than the textbook. I mean, because the textbook has everything. Teachers like kind of give the important parts. So anything that a teacher emphasizes, or you just know, you see the teacher give that look, like all of a sudden they start talking about Thomas Jefferson and you just see a little devilish smile come across their face. It's like, yo, Thomas Jefferson on that test. Highlight, don't be afraid to highlight, star, whatever. I just think highlighting makes it bring more attention. But yeah, stars work for you. You can do that too, but highlight. My next tip is to not just blindly copy things down. I was guilty of this all throughout high school. I blindly copied it down, thought about a million other things. You know, I'll go to science class, it wouldn't be science. It would be, okay, 40 minutes of me blindly copying notes down and then just thinking about, you know, what I'm gonna have for lunch. Like, science was never in my mind. But I'm telling you, if you actually understand it and comprehend it and actually learn it when the teacher is saying it, it makes your life that much easier. That much easier, because then when you go home and you review it, you're not teaching it to yourself, you're simply reviewing it. You're doing just that. When you have to teach it to yourself, when you're at home by yourself, it makes it that much harder. And don't be afraid to raise your hand. I'm not gonna lie, I was always someone terrified to raise my hand, never wanted to ask questions, didn't want to look like an idiot or dumb or stupid, but I'm telling you, if you have a question about something, guaranteed, at least one other person in the class, more likely though, it's like 10 people, have that same exact question, okay? You're not some sort of alien, some freak like, oh my god, am I the only one who doesn't understand this? No, you're perfect. It's just simply, it's human nature to not always know everything, so always ask your questions. I have noticed that I shine when I ask questions. Like, I don't literally shine, I just, like, it makes me really understand things, and yeah, I don't like physically like shine, like all of a sudden I ask a question and it's like, Austria requests and receives Germany's bank check pledging unconditional support if Russia enters the war. Austria then issues ultimatum to Serbia. Yes. I was just wondering what exactly E equals MC squared means. I don't know why you felt the need to ask that question, nor do I know who you think you are. You really stepped out of line. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh, what a great question. Let us go over the answer together. Cool. You have the same question too? That's what's good, brah. Another tip is to record the date at the top of each page. When I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade, this was like hammered into my brain. And then when I got into high school, kind of more toward the end, I never bothered with the date. I didn't even know the date half the time. I was like, what does it even matter? It does, because when you go over your notes with friends, if like a friend texts you like, do you have information on this? And you kind of exchanging notes and stuff, it helps so much to be like, all right, turn to November 4th or December 17th. Or any date, but it helps so much, and I realized this especially with like math. I would always have huge like math study party, okay, not a party, but study sessions with my friends, and it would help so much because like you have a whole notebook and it's like, oh my god, like where the heck is, you know, that lesson on, I haven't taken math in years. I don't know, what do you even learn about math nowadays? Sine, cosine? You just say, hey, pal, Maria, look it up, December 6th. Another tip is to make diagrams whenever possible. It makes it so much easier to decipher and read, and it really switches things up. And when things are in just like a chart form, it's just that much easier to just see. It's right in front of you, it's a chart, because the problem with notes is they just get so long and boring and the same and mundane, and it's like, Moving on to part 2 is reviewing these notes, aka a little thing called studying. So, studying. I know none of us like it. Who likes studying? Who goes into studying like, yeah, can't wait to read about metamorphosis. Is it metamorphosis or metamorphosis? Metabolic. I don't know. My number 1 tip when it comes to studying, I tell everyone this. This is honestly the secret to my success, the love of my life, the bird to my egg. That didn't make any sense. Anyways, it's to rewrite everything. People, when I say this, they sigh. They're like, I'm not gonna rewrite all my notes. You're a freak and I hate you. Okay, first of all, you know, I probably hate you too, okay? But I'm telling you guys, when you rewrite everything, it is a game changer. Any test that I've like really tried with and rewrote everything for, I'm not kidding, I've gotten like a very good grade. I feel like the science behind this kind of is just when you write, you're forced to really slow down and actually comprehend what you are writing and concentrate on that material. If you just give me some notes, I'll have them in my hand and I'm just like reading, and it's not really going into my mind a lot of the time. I mean, how many times have you read a book and you read 3 pages and then all of a sudden you realize, oh wait, I don't even know a word I just read because I wasn't even paying attention. Our minds do that. It's annoying, but they do. Just because you're reading doesn't mean you're actually absorbing it. But when you write, you're really slowing down. So I'm telling you, rewrite your notes. My second tip is to make everything neat, organized, and aesthetically pleasing, which is another way of saying make it pretty. I'm telling you, when it is pretty and colorful and beautiful and organized, you are that much more into it and that much more prone to actually learn it and be with it because it's pretty. You know, who wants to sit with, just like, yeah, you don't want to sit next to a fat hobo on a bus stop, you'd rather sit with Channing Tatum. So you don't want to sit with a pile of disgusting notes, you want to sit with a beautiful pile of beautiful notes. Color coding is another thing. Not only does it look pretty, it really does help. I'll take 3 different color Sharpies or 3 different color pens, something like that, what have you, and I'll have one color for dates, another color for definitions, and then another color for key concepts. And now for my study sponge tips, which is basically a fancy way of saying how I memorize my information. Some tips for memorizing, because I know memorization is not easy for everyone. It does not come easily. For me, it's not. I'm not one of those people who just picks up a notebook, boom, I'm done. Like, no. First thing, mnemonic device. Oh my gosh, this comes in so handy. It really helps your brain just remember it. Another thing is to actually teach the material. And okay, I'm not saying you need to like get up in front of a chalkboard and like dress like a teacher and do all of that and, you know, call on Billy Bob and all of that, all right? No, if you want to do that though, do it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But when you teach what you know, that means you actually understand it, and it just makes you remember it. For all of my midterms, that's all I would do. I would go downstairs into my little basement, have a dry erase board, and teach everything. And it just would be imprinted into my brain. Another huge thing is to quiz yourself or have someone else quiz you. Flashcards come in such handy for this. I can't tell you, flashcards, they make it so, first of all, they make it like cooler, like than just a pile of notes. It's like, whoa, flashcards, what's up? Also, especially when someone else is quizzing you, I remember whenever my dad would quiz me, like honestly, my parents never, I would always beg them to quiz me on things, they never would, but when I finally got my dad to, it would make me that much, like study that much harder because, I don't know, the idea of failing a test is whatever. For me, it's the idea of like being embarrassed or like having like another human being know you know nothing. That's what always got me when I was little. Like I was like, oh my god, that's why I need to study. So if my dad was quizzing me, I didn't want that face-to-face interaction of him being like, what the heck, you don't know it? So yeah, that really does help. Study buddies, oh, so underrated. Get a study buddy, they help. Buy one on eBay. Okay. And lastly, for the study sponge tips, sing it, rap it, beatbox it, do whatever you need to, okay? The more like different ways you like kind of memorize it, the better. So I would always make up songs, raps. I never did beatbox it because actually that doesn't make any sense. Beatboxing is no words. Okay.
Abraham Lincoln was a president. Now let me tell you everything he meant. Slavery, politics, it's all the same. But let us please remember his name. Abraham Lincoln.
Part 3 is actually taking that test, the part that really counts. And basically, the first thing is you gotta go in confident. You have to. First of all, if you actually did all of my tips, you should be confident. You have studied, you have rewritten your notes, you have used these weird tips, you've done all of this. Like, just thinking you're great is half the battle of being great. That's what I think. Whew, wow, I'm so confident and ready to take this test. Bring it to me. Also, before the test, make sure your mind has plenty of fuel. And there are 3 key things that you need to make sure you have enough of, and that is sleep, food, and water. If you're not hydrated, if you're not fueled up with food, and if you are not well rested, how can you expect your body to perform at its best? The same way you wouldn't expect a car to go on a road trip to Alabama without gas in the tank. How can your mind do that? Or you wouldn't expect to bake a cake without the cake mix. How can you expect your mind to perform? And I know people take this topic lightly, like, oh, whatever, I could go on 3 hours of sleep. Okay, maybe you could, but your mind won't be working at its best. You have to keep that in mind. Another tip is to take the test in whatever order you want. I had this one science class where, you know, we had like the same format test every time. I would, the second I was given the test, skip to page 3 and start doing the short answers first. Don't ask me why, I felt like more prepared and better when I did it like that. For whatever reason, the multiple choices just made me so nervous. And I didn't like taking them first, so I never did. I saved them for the end, and it pretty much, you know, ended up being pretty good, so I do say so myself. But yeah, so take the test in whatever order you think would work best for you. And lastly, when in doubt, just choose choice C because, you know, C for Clancy, and why not? Also, for whatever reason, I just feel like A and D are like the least common. I just feel like C, it's just always choice C, so yeah, that's just, you know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and maybe learned a thing or two, and maybe the next test you take, you can go in and be like, bam! I'm gonna ace it. And when your teacher's like, yo, Joshafina, what's up? Why are you doing so great all of a sudden? You could be like, listen, pal, Clancy. But yeah, so if you did enjoy, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know you did, and if you hated it, just give it a thumbs down. Why not? Just do it. And feel free to follow me on all of my social media, like Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, to kind of, you know, build our friendship and, you know, be besties. Well, I keep going with that. I'm like aggressive today. I don't know. Wow. Carl!
I wanna dance by water beneath the Mexican sky. Drink some margaritas watching the blue lights. Listen to the mariachi play at midnight. Are you with me? Are you with me?